Good morning, Y-6. Let's start your new topic, that is 4.7, investigating the friction. We all know about the friction, that the friction is a force which stop or slow down the things. Today my lesson object is to recognize the friction as a force which can affect the speed at which objects move and which sometimes stop the things moving. For this purpose, we have to collect some evidence and the data to test the ideas, including the predictions. So that's why we need to check, do the activity which we have. But before which one, we have to have a review about the positive of the friction and the negativity of the frictions. So friction is good for us because uh, we can hold the things and we can walk easily on the earth, and it makes our life easy on the earth, and it heat up the things, change the direction and stop the things. So it's negative because it is heat up the things, it slow down the things, sometimes it steers or wears the things down, and travel requires some more energy. If we have more friction, it means we apply more force to move. Same like the somebody asked the question that how we save our engine from tearing and damaging. So the answer is only we have to be use the lubricant like the oil to reduce the friction of the parts of the uh, engine, so it will be less damage and it will give us a less damage and it save our engine. So for this purpose we have to do the one activity which is actually in your book, that we have a pile of the books, and we put one log as a slope there, and we put some sand in a matchbox and try to put it up on the wood and note down the time when it goes down. And secondly, we have to be covered that wood with soapy uh, soapy water, so it will be slippery more, and then again we note down the time of the matchbox, how much time it will take, and according to my prediction it will be take less time as this matchbox slides over the slopey wood. So here we have some questions. After this we have another practical that we change the matchbox with the shoebox, and we put the same amount of the sand over there, and then again we put it on the slide. So we will check the timing again like a matchbox with soapy water and with a and the simple wood. So I have some questions that compare the results so of the two surfaces. So the two surfaces, both surfaces, one surface which have a woody, the soapy water, it takes less time to cover the distance because it is slippery, and it is decrease the friction. Secondly, which surface exert the bigger friction force? Definitely it's a wood. Why? Because matchbox take a long time to cover the distance, the same distance. How did the soap change the surface of the wood? It decreased the friction. Fourth one, why it is good to repeat the measurements? Because we need more evidence, and for our conclusion, it helps to conclude it. Suggest a reason for your prediction. Think about which box has the bigger surface area. Definitely the shoe box has a bigger surface area. Why did you pour the sand from the matchbox into the shoebox? So we need to make it uh, more fricted, so it will be have some weight. So we will check that how much weight we increase, so it will be giving us more friction. C is suggest a reason for the result you obtained when you tested your prediction on the dry wood and the soapy surface. Was your predictions correct? Of course it was correct, because the soapy surface always take more, it give us less friction, and the simple wood it gives more friction. Then they ask name the two factors that affects the frictional force between the two surfaces. So the frictional force, if we they ask for the factors. Number one factor is like the lubricants. We use the lubricants to decrease the surface, decrease the friction, and number two, we have to be decrease the surface area of the match box. So these are the questions. After this, you have to be write down the answer. First, you write the answer by your own self, and you depend on your practical, and secondly, you can tally the answer with my answer. So now you can open the page number 46 in activity book, in which you have 4 type of the different surfaces, and the things the block moves on it, how much distance it covers the block on these things. So we have to compare the surfaces now. The first question, which surface produced the most friction, and my answer is the paper towel. Why? B part is why. So my answer is because it covers a less distance. They said, why did this surface produce a more friction? Because it is a rough surface, that's why it creates a more friction. Number two is which surface produce the least friction, and my answer is the plastic wrap. They ask why, because it covers more distance, that's why the friction is less. And why they said they produce a less friction, because the smooth surface always produce a less friction. Now the question number 3, suggest a way to reduce the friction of the block of wood on the oil surface. Number 1, if the block on the wood block of wood on the oil, so I have to be put maybe I put the polished surface, or maybe I put some sand on it to reduce the friction. So my dear, first you write down your answer, then you tally your answer from my answer, so it will be gives you more ideas and more the time of the thinking to make your answer perfect. Thank you, my dear, and you can send me your all the answer in K12, so I will be checked. Thank you so much, my dear.